up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours, where there is a lot of topics to discuss. Firstly, Oriol Romeu will be the pivot that Barcelona pushed for now. The club now has a total agreement. Before, some of the board members weren't too keen on it, but now they come around and the club will try their best to sign him before we go out for preseason to America, as Xavi wants him on that plane to the US. We'll give you guys some of the updates and behind the scenes on why Arda Guler did snub Barcelona for Real Madrid. We have an update on the deal for Ivan Fresneda. We have huge exit updates on Franck Kessie, and where Barcelona and Franck Kessie have come to an agreement on his exit. Big Ousmane Dembele renewal update, as Paris Saint Germain are sniffing around for his release clause. And finally, we do have Xavi's big interview that he did in an event in Barcelona, where he discussed everything around Barcelona, from contract renewals, terminations, his renewals, who will be on the plane to the US, loan players, signings for Barcelona for who have already been confirmed, and for the future as well. Huge update where he gives a lot of the insight around Barcelona's first team. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get to 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. Now, we're first going to be discussing Barcelona's reinforcement in the pivot position, which is now Oriol Romeu. There is now a total agreement within the club to go and sign the player. Fernando Polo and Franck Martinez from Deportivo have come out saying that Oriol Romeu's release clause is 8 million euros, and Barcelona will negotiate it. The contract can be for 2 or 3 years at most. His age is a big reason for that, but Girona refers to the clause and don't want to negotiate. They consider him an important player. Now, over the past few days, I've been telling you guys his release clause has been 10 million euros, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've heard all the numbers possible, but the 8 million euro release clause is now becoming more and more concrete. Luis Rojo from Marcus come out saying that Barca are also looking for other options apart from Oriol Romeu to reinforce the pivot position as well. Alex Pentel from Goals come out saying that Oriol Romeu continues to be the bet for the pivot position. For now, Girona continues to refer to his release clause and don't want to negotiate whatsoever. And Romeu wants to play for Barca, and Xavi wants him for preseason tour to the United States. Now, we do go on tour, I believe, not tomorrow or today, Friday, but the following Friday after that. I know preseason starts this Monday, so Xavi does want the signing as soon as possible. Now, yesterday there was a board meeting where the club did decide to fully go for Oriol Romeu. Juan Martins came out saying that yesterday there was a meeting at Barcelona and it has been agreed to go for Oriol Romeu. It did not generate total consensus, but they will proceed. So the club had a meeting to really establish whether or not to sign Oriol Romeu, and the entire board agreed to go for him, even though he's not the best option. Some people, the board, think, yeah, he's not really what we need right now, but he is the best option out there. He's better than nothing, so we're going to end up going for him. So it looks like he'll cost around 8 million euros. His salary will probably be around 1 to 2 million per year. 2-year contract, I'm expecting a 2 plus 1 year deal. So once the club activates his release clause, the deal will be done. Again, Girona do not want to negotiate. There are players that we have that Girona want, but they want that as part of separate operations. If we're going to get Oriol Romeu, we must activate his release clause, which at the moment looks like most likely it will be 8 million euros. So wait and see what happens. But again, Oriol Romeu now fully the number 1 target for the pivot position, as the club has agreed yesterday to make moves for his signing. Now, a midfielder who will not be joining Barcelona this summer is, of course, Arda Guler. He has officially joined Real Madrid. The confirmation has been confirmed by the club and also from Fenerbahce as well. The deal has officially been announced as a 20 million euro fixed fee with 10 million euros in variable. That is the official statement, but we'll talk about some of the underlying numbers. Now, Roger Toledo from Deportivo has come out saying that Barcelona initially had the okay from Fenerbahce and Arda Guler, but the players in position to leave Turkey now complicated everything, and Barcelona couldn't guarantee that he could be registered. Also, after Laporta's public statements about the possibility of a transfer to Real Madrid reacted and raised the offer for Fenerbahce and Guler, the Turkish club backed away from the agreement with Barcelona, and then Barca decided not to enter into a bidding war. In any case, Guler was not a priority for Barcelona this summer anyway. They saw him as a player for the future and decided to make a move due to the interest of many clubs, and they tried to get him. So the club went for him even though he wasn't the target. They were about to sign him, and then Laporta's words in the media. Again, he spoke about Arda Guler 3 different occasions in the past week. Madrid came in, huge offer. and they ended up, persuading the player. Again, everything was already agreed without Real Madrid's huge push. They kind of had a similar offer on the table, but Barcelona was a bit more favorable. Juan Marte also came out saying that, of course, Arda Guler, new Real Madrid player. Barcelona did make some attempts to sign him in the last few hours, but they were rejected. The key factor was he wanted to leave Fenerbahce this summer. So again, Barcelona's going to sign him now, loan him back there, he plays it for a year, then comes back to Barcelona next season, and that was one of the key factors. Due to our financial situation, we couldn't sign him. I hope he falls at Real Madrid, but apart from that, it is what it is. Again, there'll be another 18-year-old out there, and let the club say he wasn't a priority, good player, we went for him, chose Real Madrid, you back out. It is what it is. Apparently, Real Madrid played a total of around 50 million euros for him. So you have 20 as a fixed fee, 10 million euros in variables, then like almost another 15-20 in just commission to his agents, and more specifically, of course, his father. Apparently, Arda Guler called Real Madrid and tried to make him the most expensive sale in Fenerbahce's history or some crap like that. But it is what it is. We move, and we'll wait for the next young 18-year-old talented midfielder to come about from whatever league he comes about from. But Arda Guler, of course, will not be joining Barcelona ever, probably. Now, along with Oriol Romeu, another target for Barcelona this summer is, of course, Ivan Fresneda, where alongside Oriol Romeu as well, the club are making movements. Jordameros Gigantes came out saying that Raul Verdu, one of the Ivan Fresneda's agents, met with Deco yesterday morning in Barcelona. This is now the second meeting between Barcelona and Fresneda's agents to analyze the situation of the young right back. As you can see in the picture, you have his two agents on the right side and the left side, and you have Deco sitting there in the middle. Looks like a cafe or coffee shop in Barcelona, where they were trying to lay out the foundations of the operation. Now, Gabriel Sanz from Deportivos came out saying that Deco met with Ivan Fresneda's agents. The meeting has not yet served to raise a formal offer, but to transfer interest again and see how the market is. The club has asked Fresneda for patience because the club has other matters to take care of and must know how FFP will be. The player wants to continue in La Liga, and Valladolid knows it. So of course there is that interest from AC Milan, but it looks like the player prefers to stay in Spain. Again, this is not Barcelona making an offer, just kind of getting the general consensus whether or not Fresneda is interested in the move, what his salary would be, length of contract, stuff like that. Again, the club want to get other deals done right now, whether it's Vitor Roque, Oriol Romeu, and then go for Ivan Fresneda. Again, release clause 20 million euros. Apparently the club think they can get the deal done for around 10. So wait and see what happens there. And I do think in the end we will sign Ivan Fresneda this summer, and of course Deco does want to bet on young talent. But there is another right back that we could end up signing next summer, and that is Vanderson, who has been linked with Barcelona now for years. I think I talked about him every summer. I've been doing YouTube videos. Joaquin Pereira, who of course is the #1 source regarding Brazilian players joining Barcelona, has come out saying that Vanderson, of course Monaco's Brazilian right back, is liked by Deco a lot, and he is willing to wait for Barcelona until 2024. Again, we've been linked with him for a very, very long time. Good player. I'm not quite sure how his contract situation is, because I don't think I think he renewed with Monaco a year or two ago, something like that, but we'll wait and see. I think Vanderson is going to be way too expensive for Barcelona now, maybe even too expensive for Barcelona in 2024. I do think we should sign one right back this summer, see how he, develops. You also, of course, have Julian Araujo as well, who could either go on loan or stay as a backup. There's many different, outcomes and formulas that you can do in the right back position, but what's clear is that Barcelona need to sign one this summer, and right now, of course, Ivan Fresneda is the one leading that race. Now, a player who Barcelona have already reached a full agreement for in every single aspect of the transfer, we even got the here we go for it, is, of course, Vitor Roque. Of course, his deal will be happening, finalizing at some point this summer. Whether he joins this summer or January remains to be seen. Roger from Deportivos come out saying that barring a miracle, Vitor Roque will not arrive at Barcelona now, but will wait until January 2024. Barcelona need to generate FFP first. The Brazilian window also closed on July the 30th, and Paredes will need a replacement. Time is less. So it's not only FFP that's the issue, but also the Brazilian market, because this current club will have to find a replacement for him. They have until July the 30th. So technically speaking, we have till July 30th to be able to register him. If not, he'll stay there for another season. Continue to finish off the season there for 6 months on loan, and then we'll join Barcelona in January. But over the past 24 hours, there has been some big news about Vitor Roque, and that's, of course, Atletico Paredes really pushing for Barcelona to get this deal done. Roger Tadero from Deportivo came out saying that Atletico Paredes have given Barcelona a 24-hour ultimatum to send the signed contract documents and close the Vitor Roque's operation. This is due to serious interest of PSG, Manchester United, and also Tottenham Hotspur. Romeu then came out saying that, oh, watch out for the situation of Vitor Roque. He then came out and said the situation is under control at Barcelona. They're very confident they'll get this deal done. Even Juan Martin came out saying that I don't think Vitor Roque will escape FC Barcelona. The club is trying to finalize everything as soon as possible. Then we got the news from Joaquin Pereira, of course, number one source at representing players joining Barcelona. He came out saying that Vitor Roque wants to join Barcelona despite big interest from PSG and Premier League clubs. Chelsea, Manchester United, and PSG are offering a massive salary to Vitor Roque. In fact, triple the amount he's agreed with Barcelona, 3.5 million euro gross. Despite that, he only wants to join Barcelona, and FC Barcelona are working on signing and registrations for Vitor Roque this summer, and Vitor Roque will reject all other offers. He only wants to join Barcelona. So we'll wait and see. Again, this 24-hour ultimatum is probably just Atletico Palmeiras pushing Barcelona to get this deal done ASAP. I think the club will get this done. I have no worries that this club will not get this deal done. They won't let a player like this slip their grasp. If they can register him this summer, even better. Get him in for pre-season. That way we can have him for the start of the season as well. Again, Atletico Palmeiras don't mind that, but they just need to know, of course, before the Brazilian transfer market ends, because they need to bring in a replacement, which completely understandable. If we get him in now, brilliant. If we have to wait till January, that's fine by me. But sooner, hopefully, rather than later, Vitor Roque will be a Blaugrana. But a player who Barcelona have officially signed over the past 48 hours has been, of course, Inigo Martinez, where this deal has been done since back in February, but the club have now made it official. He's joining a free transfer. He will sign a deal for 2 years until 2025, and he will have a 400 million euro release clause. Again, quality signing coming in to reinforce center back position. He's basically coming in as a PK replacement, so to speak. Experienced, strong, good passing out from the back, and also more importantly, he is left-footed if I'm not mistaken, which of course gives Barcelona that extra versatility. Can go to a back three, even a back two as well. So overall, fantastic signing, 2-year deal. There's no option for a further year as well, so only a 2-year deal. We'll see how he does, but again, excellent reinforcement for the center back position. Let's now discuss the players who have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 48 hours. First up is, of course, Franck Kessie, where it's been quite a mad one. Of course, in the last video, I told you guys that Franck Kessie is rumored to leave Barcelona. He's open to leaving after having a talk with Xavi. His agency then came out denying the news, but then 24 hours later, they're meeting with Barcelona's in the club offices. Again, this is what I say when agencies say certain things is definitely not true. It's to protect the player, which is understandable, but them kind of attacking Gerard Romeu himself is quite mad, because he broke the news that Franck Kessie's agent met with Mateo Alemán and Deco at the Barcelona offices to discuss his future. Had Miguel from AS follow up by saying that Franck Kessie will end up leaving Barcelona this summer in some way, shape, or form, but the club does not want to sell him for cheap, and the player wants a good offer as well. Everything is agreed and closed between him and Barcelona. So again, it was agreed if a good offer comes into Barcelona and for the player, he will leave. But Mateo Reed from Relief has come out saying that Franck Kessie's priority, though, is to continue at Barcelona unless a big offer from Saudi Arabia is received. And Ahly's offer is currently insufficient for him. He is on Chelsea's radar as well, under Pochettino as well. So again, good offer for Barcelona and himself. He will leave with no problems. I think the club want around 25-30 million. Franck Kessie was a pretty good salary. He's going to leave Barcelona as well. So we'll wait and see how things develop. We are also hearing that the El Nassr CEO was in Barcelona as well, maybe to negotiate a deal. We know that El Nassr wanted Brozovic and that Kessie was the plan B. They may even go for their plan B. Double pivot of Brozovic and Kessie, a little Milan Derby pivot. That could happen as well. So we'll wait and see with Franck Kessie's future. But again, it was to earn some money from Barcelona this summer in terms of the squad. It's going to be Franck, so we'll wait and see how his future does develop. But again, finally, the club have agreed with the player. Good offer for the club and for the player. He will leave this summer. Now, in midfielder's future that is very much in doubt is the future of Nico Gonzalez, who of course has returned from his loan move from Valencia, and his future remains to be seen what happens. But there is a bit of a disagreement on his future internally at Barcelona. Samuel Marsden and Moises Malores from ESPN have come out saying that Deco and Alemán like Nico Gonzalez for the pivot position, but Xavi favors someone with more experience. Now, whether he means, I don't know if he means more experience, like, a better player, or more experience because, Nico cannot play in the pivot. It's very, very clear the club really wants Xavi to bet on Nico for the upcoming season, even to have him as a plan B. But Xavi doesn't really see Nico as a pivot. Everyone else sees him as a pivot, but Xavi, Garcia, Pimienta, some of the fans, Deco, Alemán, Laporta. But it's just Xavi that's that changing block. Honestly speaking, I would love for the club to buy a pivot, Oriol Romeu, and then have Nico as a backup. You have Nico and Oriol In the pivot, you have, Gundogan, De Jong, Pedri, Gavi in the midfield. You're sorted there, and I think the club can really progress in that sense. So you can play Oriol Romeu in the big games, or maybe, in those difficult games at home, maybe away from home, you go for Nico to have that energy, and I think Nico would learn a lot from that as well. He gets experience from Oriol Romeu. He'll play some games as well, so we'll wait and see what the club decides. I think for Xavi, preseason will be crucial for Nico. We show some promise, show some ability to learn, ability to play that role. We might bet on him, but for now, Xavi does not see Nico as a pivot, although the sports sector, Deco, and Laporta do want Xavi to bet on him this season. We'll wait and see what things are to be decided, but that won't be until after preseason for sure. Let's now discuss some contract renewal updates around the first team at Barcelona. Firstly, the only update that we do have is on the contract renewal of Ousmane Dembele, where again, according to reports, there is interest from Paris Saint Germain. Something from Football Mercado has come out saying that Ousmane Dembele is Paris Saint Germain's priority if Kylian Mbappe leaves the club. Luis Enrique appreciates Dembele. He currently has a release clause of 50 million euros, which PSG would be willing to play, but Barcelona want to renew his contract quickly. Again, this PSG rumor, Dembele's come out in the media saying that he's never talked to PSG, he's never, had any interest from them, but the media always, link him to PSG, but this is coming in from a very, very reliable source. But in Barcelona, there is calmness. Roger Tedero from Deportivo has come out saying that Ousmane Dembele's agent, Moussa Sissoko, informed Barcelona last week they will not execute the 50 million euro release clause that's valid until July 31st. Negotiations for his contract renewal continue. Ousmane Dembele is very loved in Barcelona's dressing room and within his close circles. He does not hide that he would like to be one of the captains next season. He's also third in terms of seniority at the club right now, which is correct. I think it's Ter Stegen or Roberto Ter Stegen, and then Ousmane Dembele. He's, one of the big heads at the club. You're one of the top guns at the best team in the world. It's so stupid to go to Paris Saint Germain where they're absolutely in disarray. And how Dembele is a replacement for Kylian Mbappe baffles me as well. Nonetheless, I think and I hope that we are confident to renew his contract. It is very, very important. Again, if his release clause is activated, the club only get 25 million euros, and Dembele and his agent get the other 25 million euros as well. With no buy option on Carrasco now, losing Dembele would be catastrophic. I mean, might as well call it the season at this point. We're betting on Ferran Ansu, then Lamine Yamal coming in. Don't have Vitor Roque until January. Losing Dembele would be absolutely devastating. But we'll see what happens. I'm still very confident when his contract. Again, talks are continuing. We're not really in the advanced stages quite yet, but negotiations have continued. Again, we offered the renewal until 2027. A month and a half ago. He's accepted those terms for the majority of them, but salaries, other stuff like that are still to be ready to be seen. Again, the length is already agreed upon and the premise of the deal as well. He can be a captain next season. He really, really can be. With Jordi Alba and Busquets leaving, I think Araujo, Lewandowski, De Jong, and Dembele are the four main ones that are going to be pushing for those two spots. We know Araujo is already guaranteed to be one of them. Of course, you're going to have Sergio Roberto first, Ter Stegen second, maybe Araujo third, but fourth place could be Lewandowski, could be De Jong, or even could be Ousmane Dembele. So we'll wait and see what happens with the renewal of Dembele, but club is confident, players confident the deal will get done with Barcelona, but PSG are showing some strong interest, especially if Kylian Mbappe ends up leaving. Now, along with Dembele, another player who does want to stay at Barcelona is Eric Garcia. Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo has come out saying despite Inigo Martinez's arrival, Eric Garcia is not considering leaving Barcelona. He is happy at Barcelona and wants to succeed here. He can be used as a backup option in midfield as well, and his off-the-field attitude is valued heavily by the coaching staff. So very unlikely for Eric Garcia to leave the club this summer. Again, the club have told them a month ago, we want to keep you. If you want to stay, we're happy. But if you want to leave, we have no problem letting you go. Of course, the right offer comes in around 10, 15 million euros for him. The player wants to stay. Fair enough to him. He will be, of course, fifth choice center back and third choice in the midfield, fifth choice at right back. So he'll be essentially a squad player, which, is at his current level. I think a couple injuries happen at center back. He gets a run out. He could maybe impress, but you're going to have Koundé, Araujo, Christensen, of course, Inigo Martinez for the four spots. Then you're going to have Eric Garcia pushing in behind as well. And again, for, training and rondos, he's a player of very much use. So I think he will end up staying. Maybe next summer will become the big question whether he leaves or stays. And then you know what? Injuries happen, stuff like that. He could get somewhat of a push when we have a lot of games back to back to back. People will pick up injuries. Of course, Christensen very injury prone. Inigo Martinez over the past year and a half has been quite injury prone. Araujo is injury prone as well. The only reliable play we do have in the defense is Koundé. So I think Eric Garcia can definitely get a chance at some point during the season, and he looks to do so as he wants to stay at Barcelona. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is to go through the interview that Xavi Hernandez has done in an event at Barcelona, where he discussed basically all the behind the scenes around Barcelona, from exits to signings to farewells to basically from everything the coach's point of view, renewals, exits. So let's get right into it. He was asked, as a player you rest more, and as a coach you're waiting for the phone and transfers. On Monday we will start to work. The aim is to show that Barcelona can win titles. We are on the right track. Let's see if we can strengthen ourselves. You turn your head and you think about what to improve. The collective game, be more competitive, the pending issues of the Champions League. We have that revenge mode. The leap in quality is missing. The signs are going to come, and I think we will improve the squad. At Barcelona, you always have to be a 10 out of 10. It's a very demanding environment. We have to go for La Liga and more. I like the demand though. I want to win all the titles. That is the objective. A lot is lost with Busquets and Jordi Alba leaving. There are two references points, especially for youngsters. Others will take that role though now, like Sergio Roberto, Ter Stegen, and even Dembele. You have to choose the captain as well. There will be voting and total democracy. They have to feel comfortable. Let the group choose the most prepared. So again, the voting process for the captains will be happening, and if it's going to be voted by the players, I think it will be Araujo and Lewandowski. Even though I don't agree with Lewandowski being a captain second season in Barcelona, I do hope it's Araujo, maybe De Jong. I think that's very reasonable as well. Also, that way, if we give De Jong the captaincy, he'll hopefully commit his future and maybe reduce his salary as well. It's going to be Araujo and either Lewandowski, De Jong, or Dembele. Anyone else, I'll delete my channel. Anyways, Xavi was asking the son name İlkay Gündoğan. He said he's a very versatile player in the midfield and an expert. Winner of the last Champions League, captain of City. He has told us that he's coming to succeed at Barcelona, and he will help us a lot. The signing of a pivot, Romeu. Yes, we're in a complicated situation. I've always said this. We have to adapt to fair play. And from there, I don't want to talk about names because the other clubs get angry. And above all, that we have at home. Again, Xavi, very, very smart, not giving out names like Laporta has done in recent interviews. I am from La Masia. The first thing I look is that, and if we have players here that are much better, I will prioritize it. Xavi was asked on what's missing and if the two signs are enough, and that there are still missing pieces. We can't fool the fans. The president is doing a very good job. We have to strengthen ourselves. The president knows, Matteo Alemán knows, you don't have to fool anyone. The market is going to be long to be as competitive as possible. Of course, two signs done, Inigo and İlkay. Looking at Vitor Roque being a done deal as well very soon. So signs are needed. Xavi's not hiding behind that fact. Then as on the Champions League, look, we're not the favorites, but the objective is to win it. We are Barcelona. We can't just go out of the round 16. We have to go as far as possible. The bar is as high as possible. Then here's the big part. Xavi on if Barcelona want to sign a center back or if Koundé will play there. We will see what we get. We would like to strengthen that position, but it depends on the market and financial fair play. What that tells me is that Xavi will most likely bet on Koundé again for season if we don't sign a right back. If we do, we may see Koundé more at center back. Then as on registrations and contract terminations, it is a matter of Matteo Alemán. He has it quite clear. It is a matter of balance. Matteo is doing a master's degree in financial fair play, which, to be honest, is not wrong. Again, it was Jordi Cruyff over the past 2 seasons who was the main mastermind behind financial fair play and understanding it, but now Matteo Alemán has to learn about it a bit more with Deco coming in. Then asked about Ansu Fati, saying that Ansu Fati, like everyone else, starts from scratch on Monday. We will see him preseason, also with the loanees, and then decide. With Balde, we will start last preseason with the idea, and then he exploded. So again, preseason does determine a lot. It's not just only getting back to match fitness and match rhythm, it also gives opportunities for players to start the season. Of course, we saw Ferran Torres start against Sociedad last season, was not even preseason because Xavi liked him, he bet on him, didn't work out. Balde, of course, was rumored heavily, and I mean heavily, to go out on loan. Did so on preseason, started the season, of course, didn't start the first game against Vallecano. It was Jordi Alba. He didn't play well. He then started Balde against Sociedad, got the assist in the first minute to Lewandowski, and after that, the rest is history. Xavi now talks about on players who don't want to play, who don't play any minutes. Look, I understand all the situations. It's not nice to tell a player that they will not be, that they will play little, but I have to do that because I'm the coach. Being honest, as this year, they end up thanking you, even if they get angry on the first day. So Xavi saying, look, it's very difficult for me to tell a player, look, you're not going to get any minutes. They get angry, of course, but then they respect it, and they're very happy with the honesty. Then Xavi on the youth team players, and look, I've already said that we will all start from scratch, whether they're 16 or 38. If they show me that they can play for Barcelona, they will. We don't give anything away. We are not an NGO. That is why I gave the example of Balde. Then asked on Franck Kessie, saying, yes, I spoke to him. He already knows the situation. It is private, and I don't want to make it public, of course. If offers come in, everyone's happy, he will leave. Vitor Roque, it happens the same as Romeu. He's in another club. I can't speak about him. The sports management is working. Again, very excellent answer from Xavi. Hopefully Laporta is taking some notes. Xavi was then asked about the rumors of Christensen playing as a pivot and if that's an option or not. He said, look, we have a lot of options. They're all not natural, like Eric Garcia and Frankie de Jong, but they are not natural players for that position, and we do need someone who is natural. Then asked on Arda Guler, and I spoke to him as well. We have a great, chemistry, and he's very high assessment of him. He should stay, and that's what I want. So hopefully we do sign Arda Guler on a renewal, then probably load him out to keep him for the future. Xavi was then asked on Nico Gonzalez. He said, look, he's coming back from his loan. The preseason will start, and then we will decide. It's an important phase for coaches and players. It looks like Nico will get his chance in preseason, and hopefully he does end up impressing. Xavi on his contract renewal said that it is the fact that the president showed blind faith in us after the elimination in the Copa del Rey. I am where I want to be in the club of my life. There will be no problem. I'll never be a problem for the club. I adapt to any circumstances. So, of course, end up renewing at some point. Xavi on who will go on the US tour and who will not. I've already told some of them, others from the 10th, and I will see with people, and I'll decide who comes on the tour and who does not. That squad list for the tour is going to be massive. And we're talking about, of course, the exits, the signings, and the Gala 11 players are going to be there. I'm talking your Julian Araujo, your Dest, Clement Lenglet technically, Nico, Abdi, the list, Lamine Yamal, even the B team players who will go there, who will not go there, is going to be a huge squad list. Xavi was then asked on Gundogan choosing Barcelona. He said, look, it's like that. It's the Barcelona brand. I never come across a player who said no at first. Gundogan signing is one more example. I had many talks with him. He dreams of succeeding at Barcelona, and he let me know Barcelona is a world brand. Then asked on Ferran Torres and Ansu Fati again that I've been talking to many of them through messages or conversations from the 10th. We will see. We will see what we can reinforce and what not, and above all, that economically fits the club. Also, Ansu and Ferran, that squad is going to be huge, whether they're both in it or not. Finally, he was then asked on Luis Enrique joining Paris Saint Germain. Look, I'm happy for him. He's a wonderful coach. I saw him last season as a Barcelona player in the 2014-15 season. I wish him the best. He is a reference for me. And that concluded Xavi's, a little event speech. I just realized I spelled everything wrong there in the caption. My bad. But again, quick summary. Everyone starts from scratch on July the 10th, which is going to be huge. Getting signings, the club is working. Fair play is going to be a big issue. We're looking for a pivot. Nico's going to get a chance. He's going to renew his contract as well. Of course, Xavi getting one huge signing. So again, overall, Xavi spoke very clearly, did not give anything away, did not damage the club's negotiation skills like Laporte has done recently, and also gave us a big insight on what to expect next week when preseason begins. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want to first see, of course, is your thoughts on the signing of Oriol Romeu. Secondly, on the Arda Guler saga and how he snubbed us. Thirdly, your thoughts, of course, on Ivan Fresneda possibly joining the club, and would you sign a right back or not? Fourthly, on the sale of Franck Kessie, are you satisfied with that or not? And finally, thoughts on Xavi's words at the event in Barcelona. And of course, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.